All right, hi. Right now I'm going to demonstrate how to put on the RF Industries RFN-1006-3I N connector. This is an N connector onto LMR400 cable. The LMR400 cable is being used because it is low loss for the length of run that we're going to be doing for these short LTE antennas that we will be installing. So here I got some LMR400 cable here, and I'm using TimesMicrowave's CCT-02 cable cutter. In the past, I've gotten by with cutters like these. They make a nice cut, but this is even better. I've already cut this cable, so it looks pretty good, but I'm going to cut it again just to demonstrate how. Basically, you just bring it back a little ways so you get the whole cable in there, and then we're just going to take it and spin around, rotate around the cable like this, and you kind of keep pushing down more and more, and eventually make our way to the center conductor, and boom, there we go. We stripped it all the way back, and it made a really nice cut straight across. Next, we're going to use TimesMicrowave strippers here. These are basically, this is the CST400. It's basically 3 tools in one. This first end here will strip off, it's labeled number 1, will strip off the first portion to expose the interconductor. Then it will strip off the outer jacket here to expose the braided shield, and it's also got a deburring tool hidden right in here to deburr that center conductor so it's nice and smooth and we can get the center pin on quite easily. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is strip off the first part to expose the interconductor. So I use the number 1 side of this tool. I make sure there's nothing left over from the last time I used it in here, and well, there is, so let's get that out. All right, so I can clear that out, and then basically we just put it in all the way, and then we push down on this button here, and we just keep turning around, and this button here will eventually make itself all the way down to the bottom, and then we just pull, and there we go. And then there's our center conductor. I'm not blocking the light there. And then the next thing we do is we got our little deburring tool here, so let's deburr it. So it goes on that center pin really nice. We just kind of go back and forth a couple times. All right, now okay, there. Put a nice chamfer, I'm trying to pronounce that French word, on there properly. And the edge, it's so. Next thing, always put your ferrule on next. Don't forget that. So let's put that on. And then we are going to set this, even though we're going to be crimping on the center pin, we're going to set this, there's 2 settings here on the depth of how much you want to cut back the insulation. There's crimp and there's clamp. But for these RF Industry connectors here, we actually want to set it to clamp. That'll give us the proper depth. So let's do that. Okay, set it to clamp already. And put my glasses aside. All right, we spin around until it's basically gets all the outer jacket off, and there goes as far as it can go. All right. Now, if it's digging up a little bit too far into the braid here, I just need to adjust this tool a little bit. I'm using mine straight out of the box. It seems to be doing okay. I didn't really calibrate this thing at all. But, okay. So let's put on that center pin now. All right. I supplied you with a crimper set that has both a .429 to doing the outer ferrule, and it also has a .128. The set of crimpers I have has a .100 in it, so that's too small for doing this center pin. So I'm going to have to switch crimpers here, but the set that you have has everything you need all in one die. So I'm going to put that on, and I hold it on there with my finger, which kind of hurts, but and then I put it in there all the way. All right. Oof, wow. That's perfect. Okay. So the next thing is basically we just pull back this braid here like that, and then put the connector on. Perfect. It goes all the way to the end there. And now let's get my ferrule that went all the way down to the ground here. Let's bring that up. Put that on. Perfect. And going over to the .429. There. And we're done. Perfect. Wow, that looks really good. Now, I used to like crimp all the way down to the end here. I'd go again and do a second pass, but actually you don't want to do that, because what you're doing is you're squeezing this outer jacket, and that's squeezing the dielectric, the inner dielectric around the center conductor, and you're actually changing the impedance ever so slightly right there. So we don't want to do that. We want to keep this as low VSWR as possible, so we don't crimp all the way to the end. The next thing we're going to do afterwards for our exterior connectors is, once we have these all screwed on in place, we're going to put that mastic tape all around it nice and tightly. And if we can get our hands on it in country, we'll use Scotch coat. It's like a rubber cement stuff, and we pour that or paint that on top of the mastic tape, and it will last. That will be waterproof for centuries. So we're going to cover all this and the connector, and work our way up. But there you go, and that's how you put on a N connector onto LMR400 cable.